Okay, so apparently, yeah, I'm 7 seconds into it already. I started things a little bit earlier, so we've got about 10 minutes lead up time until the actual stream starts. I just want, oh, well, it'll be easier if I take this off. Um, Not like I'm trying to hide my disabilities, but it still makes it easier, believe it or not. So, anyway, I am the project manager of Haphazard Projects, and I am inviting all my backers and everyone else into another discussion tonight. Hopefully, my efforts are to get two backers before the end of this live stream. Two, only two. That'll put us at 12. And as soon as we hit 12, I am doing a massive giveaway. Um, I can't even read that. Who is that? Is that Oh, Chris? Hey, nice of you to drop by. I'm glad we have Chris in here already. That's impressive. Is it already showing for people, or are you just special? He's just special, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Um, so actually, I'm going to put on my glasses for a little while so I can actually read some stuff. Okay. You'll have. I apologize for the massive glare of my glasses. But anyway, how you doing, Chris? Waited for the countdown. Countdown. There was a countdown. That's news to me. Okay, well, because the Aether Blood Chronicles backer kit site does not say anything. And oh gosh, we had an accident on the live stream. It says it's not going to start until 5 p.m. Um, Mountain Daylight Time. I'm going to fix that real quick. I don't want to sit here for an hour before this streaming event starts. So it's no big deal. We're just going to go ahead and edit that time. Um, so it's going to be. Why in the world does it say like this? Because I have it listed for 4 p.m. So we're going to do 3 to 5. I will eventually learn my lesson and figure out how I need to do this. I also need to put in my streaming code. So let me figure that out right now. So my streaming code is right here. Let's make sure I can get it without messing stuff up. One more letter. One more letter. Copy. Yay, things are still going. Okay. Oh, you were watching from YouTube. Okay, that makes sense because, of course, this is not saying anything on BackerKit yet because I have not done that. Now that I've done that, it should say something crazy like, "Hurry up, everybody! You've got 7 minutes to get in here." I don't know. We'll see. People are going to be aggravated because I've been posting it for different times and changing it every single time. So yeah, um, like I was saying, I am the project designer of Haphazard Projects. I am the primary lead, or I should say, lead developer for the Aether Blood Chronicles. It's been my baby, even though I've had people help me. Zoe Hickman, for one matter, I mean, she was absolutely incredible, helping me flesh out what will become um, the cosmic stuff. She helped me outline a whole bunch of stuff. So I was very, very grateful to her work. And then I've got this kid, Michael, who was on the live stream last night. If you missed last night, you really should check it out. I've got it on my YouTube playlist. It's actually on the backer kit. You can go back and watch that. It was basically a Q&A. They were asking me my bra size and everything. It was crazy. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Um, we had a lot of fun, even though it was primarily, I think, 4 of us at one time. Yeah, I mean, I expect the audience to grow. as people learn about the game. But that's what these live streams are for, for you to come in, ask questions, and try and figure out, you know, different unique ways we can grow as a community. Because that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a chance to establish something that hasn't been done before. Members of that community will be able to help me breathe extra life into this campaign here on BackerKit. And say somebody gives me good ideas, they might get used here on the BackerKit. So I see I've got a thumbs up from somebody. Thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. Um, so so yeah, we've got about 4 minutes left until the live stream officially starts. Um, and I'm going to be tracking backers the entire time. We are still at 10 backers, which is pretty phenomenal if you look at the fact that no one knows who the heck we are. To have 10 backers on the first day is incredible because, it's the truth. Nobody knows who we are. Um, Chris has actually been here for quite some time. He's seen the development for a while. He was an original playtester. He actually played the heck out of Chronicles of the Orb Shadium song. You can see some stuff on the backer kit for that game specifically. Um, and I know he thoroughly enjoyed that. He could probably talk your ear off about some stuff from that. Um, because Chris is like me, he won't shut up sometimes. Um, but we've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Um, I'm going to go grab some cough drops because I can already feel my throat drying up. So I will be right back. It literally won't take me more than like 10 seconds. See, in 10 seconds, I actually got to it, but I didn't take into account the time it would take me to get back. But I'm here, and I have 2 minutes to spare. So sweet. Let me make sure I'm not rolling over my oxygen. I will pop that right there. All right, back into business. Need one of these things. All right. Still 2 minutes. Chris, how's your day been? This is the fun part of doing a live stream. The chats come in a little slow. Um, then again, if it was verbal, these things would be a mess, and I understand that. So I'm glad they're not verbal. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. But I appreciate you coming to this. I really do. Yeah. So we got about a minute here. Um, Chris doesn't know this, but I'm going to waylay him in a few minutes. Um, and we're all going to have a good laugh about it. But I want to see if anybody else is going to come into the stream before I do that. Um, we're still at 10 backers. Got a couple of seconds before it goes live on the Aether Blood Chronicles site on BackerKit. But when it does, it's going to be sweet. I really enjoy the BackerKit platform just because of the way it works and everything you can get done with it. Um, so let me see here. Um. Anyway, it is it is 4 o'clock my time. I had to check the clock twice to and be able to read it. Ha! So it's 4 o'clock right now. So everything should be kicking over on Eighth of Blood Chronicles backer kit site. Um, Look at that. The live screen is coming up. And behold, as soon as it refreshes the stream, I am on pause, literally. Come on, get us rolling. Wake up. Come on. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. All right. Anyway, backer kit is buffering, and I don't know how long it's going to be buffering for, but technically we are live on there. So feel free to come in and join us. I know. Oh, it's running. I know. I don't have to hit play. It just runs. Like last night, I checked it a couple of times. It just ran. That's what a live stream is for. So anyway, oh, we got two people. Who's our second person in chat? Please give us a shout out so we can say hello to you. Or not. I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't feel that social. But still, thank you for coming in and joining us in the live stream for the Eighth of Blood Chronicles backer feedback episode episode 1. This is right. So yes, hello player 2, I guess is a good way of putting it. But yeah, oh, I forgot. Let there be light. Yeah, that's a little bit clearer of a picture now. Um, so anyway, whoever you are out there in the ether, thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for gifting us with your presence. And so since we have at least one other person in here now, I want to make sure the chat is running smoothly. It's still buffering for me. So I don't know. So Sir Christopher, if you would please, I would like you to start us off with a question. Something to do with the game, the Aether Blood Chronicles, which is the reason we're here. As far as when you left the playtest from that point on, give us a good question on how I should fill you in on what happened, or if there's a specific aspect you're curious about. You're kicking us off. First question of the night. Make it a good one. Come on, Chris. We're waiting on you. I told you I was going to put you on the spot. I warned you. That's what happens when my friends show up to these events here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read this out. So in case you can't see the chat, Chris is saying, when we left, you were balancing out the powers. how has the progression or how has that progressed because some of them were not as fleshed out? Um, it's really a kind of easy question to answer because um, I basically decided very early in the process that this was going to be a rule of cool game. So basically, under the jurisdiction of that power, if it makes sense for you to be able to do something, then you can do it. There are ideas written into every power as far as stuff that you can do. But if you can think of it outside of what is mentioned, and that's where creativity awards the players. You can at least try things that are not mentioned in the book. For instance, I had a player very recently, and I'm not going to name him just yet because he might show up to one of these live streams. He had the attention of control mind, and he was like, "Okay, what I want to use this for is my body is actually back home in Taipei or wherever he was from. It was some small Asian group, like Taipei or Taiwan or something like that. I'm going to be, he said, I'm going to be sitting in my apartment, but I'm still going to be playing in the group. I'm going to control someone's mind from the opposite end of the planet, and that is who I'm playing, except with my knowledges and powers, of course. I was like, that's a perfectly valid way to do this. So he was literally playing other people and using his mental powers to like pass as them because he could look into the memories of the person. He could look into the skills that they had. He could adapt those skills to himself. And so his control was absolute. Meanwhile, yes, it is. And, it was really, really cool. Meanwhile, the person was junted into this kind of extra spatial mental domain and was enjoying a paradise of a life. Basically, anything that person wanted to do within that domain, they were able to do. They just couldn't break out until the player character was finished with that body. And sometimes, a person would die, of course. But yeah, but they'd be still in this eternal realm of heaven, kind of, where they may not be able to return to their body, but they're having the time of their life in that domain. So basically, the short answer of this is that the players that have played the game since the beginning and onward through are the ones that have defined how these powers work. Every time somebody uses a unique twist on a power, I'm like, hey, I need to make sure I remember that so I can tell people, hey, I had that one player that did this. But yeah, so that's how it got fleshed out. It got fleshed out by people playing the game. So hopefully that answers your question. I know I went on for a little bit of a tangent during that, but yeah. So that having been said, our mysterious second person in chat, do you have a question for me? Oh, shut up, Chris. You can leave now. Chris knows I am notorious for tangents. I can't help it, and he puts up with them, which is why we're still friends. So yeah, but a second person in chat, player two. Yeah, you do. But second player in chat, if you have a question, please let me know. The stream was originally designed for backers to come in and ask questions about how they wanted to see the progress of this continue. But I turned around and said, I vetoed that quick, and I was just like, anybody who wants to come in and kind of just chat about the game, I think that's better at this point because we only have 10 backers at this moment in time. We've got like 30 people or so following the progress of the game, but you know, we'll see what happens. But I'm looking for another question here. And like I said, if you don't feel like being, terribly social right now, it's completely fine. But that means I'm just going to throw Chris under the bus again and say, Chris, come up with another question. Anything about the game. Chris, you type like I do. You take forever. Okay, here we go. Chris comes up with another question, which is good. The organizations slash gangs and the government whatnots. Are there new ones? Some more backstory from playtesters being members of or conflicting with. Okay. There are some new ones. Like I said, Zoe Hickman was writing for me for a little while, about 3 or 4 months actually, and she helped me put some more detail behind some of these things, the organizations and government whatnots, as Chris puts it. And we came up with some more stuff. But rather than go through um, my digital copy right now, Zoe Hickman. What a small world. Zoe is amazing. So instead of going through the PDF, today I am going to go through this beauty, which is the ash can of my rule system. You don't know her, but I've been talking her up. Yeah, she's amazing. So hopefully this will drum up some more business for her because she deserves it. She is really that good. This is the ash can hardcover copy of the rule book with a temp cover. This is not the finished product. All these pages, all 266 of them or 276, whatever it is, I can't remember the page count. This is all words with no artwork. That's what ashcan means. No artwork. I'm going to get my answers out of this instead of going through the digital copy. Yeah, words that I was searching for that were suddenly difficult. I need more caffeine is what it comes down to. We came up with a lot of new stuff. I know Chris actually helped me come up with one that I want to mention. I just want to find it in the book here because it did make it into the book, of course, because it was a lot of fun. ATAC. Yeah. So ATAC was the Etheric Tactical Assault Command. Um, and it was basically a group of specialized humans that had trained to be prepared to fight with the chaotic situations brought upon by people with phenomenal cosmic power. But we also came up with the prophets. Um, Super soldier struck with an igniting sickness thinks he's become prophet, and calls together others that follow him in almost a cult like manner. They're all about stopping an alien invasion that is supposed to come years from now, which is actually something that does happen in the timeline. It's a six-year war because of their coming here. It's called the Vosges War, but we'll get back to that in a second. Basically, the more insane these people are, because they tend to be unhinged to begin with, but the more insane they are, the the more powerful they get, and they gain powers and can do all sorts of stuff, including something that I'm saving for the second book that will eventually become a big skill of theirs, which is spell casting. But that's not till the second book. This book, they can do things like use equipment that can interfere with superpowers and stuff like that. It's very weird, kind of, kind of. I can't really compare it to anything else right now, but it's very cool. um, and we came up with a couple of other things. We came up with I think the last one that I had in the book prior was the AFA, Americans for America. So that would mean the next one is the team, Aliens for Earth movement. Aliens who ally with human hate groups against Aethers. They may be aliens and not literally from Earth, but they don't like Aethers for some reason. So, and they are in constant war with the prophets that I just mentioned. So those are just some examples. Um, we also fleshed out the rules for super soldiers, making them a little bit more powerful so that they can actually stand toe to toe with weaker Aethers. Um, so, unless you're a power gamer, basically, if you make an Aether, a super soldier can stand toe to toe with you. If you min max your selections, you're gonna wipe the floor with a super soldier. I'm sorry, especially if you have a psychic sidekick. I can't believe I just said that without tripping over my tongue. Um, Psychics are something that no one has played so far, and so they've never been play tested. I need to run this again. Can't believe I just said that. Um, Not baloney miss number 3. What are you talking about, Chris? Chris, you've lost your mind. I have no idea what you're talking about. Um, oh, the super soldiers. Yeah, yeah. Um, um, there are a few super soldiers that are a little bit more powerful, but yeah, there are quite a few that butter almost literally from time to time. Um, so yeah. Um, so do we have another question, or did I answer that question fully enough? I mean, they have been fleshed out. I gave 2 new examples. I don't want to spend all day talking about the same thing, though. So those are just 2 examples of what else you can find in the book. Any other questions? I'm sure I can bug Chris for another one. Um, oh, okay. He's saying that was good. Okay, cool. Um, Now, if I can get another question, please, whether it be from someone else or Christopher, it matters not. I just need questions for the next little bit. Chris, I'm going to go ahead and warn you. You might just want to go ahead and list out some questions. That way you can just copy and paste in here when I say, Chris, let's get another question. It seems we have somebody else in chat now. I don't know if this is the same person we had earlier, but welcome or welcome back. Right now, we are trying to get questions from my friend Chris, who actually play tested this game when I first started working on it. He greatly play tested a game called Chronicles of the Orb Shadium Song, which I have mentioned on the backer kit a couple of times. So yeah, he's good people. Um, he is trying to come up with a question right now. We have three people in chat now. So what I would like to encourage you to do is if you're new in chat and you have a question, please put it up here. Okay. I will answer questions in the order they are received. This is a chance for you to get to know more about the game. And I'm literally answering all questions straight from the Ashcan version of the book that we have right now. Um, yeah. And by the way, if you come to Gen Con and come by my section where I will be running Monty Cook games and my own Aetherblood sessions, I have 5 hardbacks of the Ashcan version, which I will be giving away for free. Yeah, I got your attention now since I said the word free. Um, Come by, say hello, talk to me for a couple of seconds just as we're passing by, or we can sit down and actually have a conversation. And whatever, we'll have fun. But if you're interested in getting your hands on one of those 5 books, let me know. We'll have a conversation about that. How's that? Christopher, do you have another question for us, please? Or anybody at this point, please. Yeah, all your questions belong to us. Um, okay, just so you know, I just checked. We are still at 10 backers. Um, so the hope is we hit 12. If we hit 12, I will roll a die to randomly determine one of the backers who will get a huge reward, whether they are in the stream with us at that moment or not. Whoever it is will get a huge reward that other people will be jealous about. So we've got plans throughout this campaign. This campaign's supposed to go for 4 months, so stick around with us and learn a lot about the game. And Christopher, I'm assuming that you've lost connection or I've lost connection because I am not seeing any interaction with anyone whatsoever. Um, and I'm just going to keep talking. This is kind of embarrassing. It says I'm still live. I'm still live. It's been 35 minutes and 3 seconds, 4 seconds, whatever. So, Christopher, please give us a question. If someone else is in here, oh, here we go. Chris just asked a question. This is a good one. Can you give us an explanation of the agnati? Okay, wonderful question. So, elevator pitch time. Um, Basically, an elevator pitch is what you throw to someone in the time you manage to corner them in the elevator, and you're like, "Hey, I've got an idea. Do you want this idea?" So the elevator pitch literally goes something like this: There are these alien intelligences from across the dimensions called the Agnati that have been seeding intelligent life throughout all the cosmos with phenomenal cosmic powers. They have finally come to Earth and are doing the same to humanity. You get your powers. What do you do with your powers? That is the elevator pitch for Aether Blood Chronicles. Now, the Agnati literally are extra dimensional beings like the H.P. Lovecraft old ones. They're on that type of power scale. They can do lots and lots of things, but for whatever reason, they go about and give powers to beings much, much weaker and ask one simple rule of them. As long as that one rule is covered, that person retains their powers for the rest of their lives, however short or long that might be. So imagine almost a beneficent old one, and that is an Agnati. Hopefully, I answered that one well. All right. If there's anybody else in chat, please throw us down a question. It is greatly appreciated. Otherwise, we're just going to be listening to Chris the entire time. Sea Witch just dropped into my Discord channel. Sea Witch is a backer of the game already. If I'm not mistaken, let me go to my list of backers. Sea Witch was the third backer. So yeah, that the fact that they are now on my Discord channel, that's awesome. That's amazing. So hopefully enough people will join the Discord channel. I can get some games of the Aether Blood Chronicles running before or during this campaign, I should say. That would be amazing. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, all right. Do we have another question? No, we don't. He's making excuses for himself. Love you, Chris. But yeah. Does anybody else have a question? Please. I don't want this to be the Christopher show, but it will be because I don't care. As long as we're having fun, because that's the whole point of gaming in the first place. You know, I'm just surprised that my tone is a little bit more down to earth tonight because last night my energy level was literally bouncing off the walls, and it was a lot of fun. Me and Michael had a lot of fun, and it was just me, Mike, and a guy named Andrew, uh, who were sitting there talking the entire time. Go check out the shenaniganery that went on in that conversation last night. That was awesome. Hopefully, we'll start to have as much fun here. We are at the 16:30 mark. So we've passed the initial 30 minutes. Got another 45 minutes, or excuse me, another 15 minutes of the initial phase of this live stream, which if we don't have a lot of people join in, we might cut off a little early. Let me see here. Wait. Um, we have another question, oddly enough, and this is again by Chris. Part and parcel of the Ignati. How about the horizon? Okay, the horizon is very simple for me to explain. Imagine a metaphysical boundary. Earth is on one side, and then the horizon is this hand right here, right next to it. And on this side of the horizon, everything else exists. All the other dimensions and timelines and all of that stuff just seeps out on the other side of the horizon. And the Agnati, of course, live on the vast, most far realms of space beyond the horizon. It literally is just the metaphysical boundary between Earth and everything else. So, yeah. So it's like I said, that was a very simple question, but a good one. It's a good one now that it's been mentioned. So thank you. All right. Do we perhaps have another question? Rating more discords, finally got permission to post the link. Oh. Still trying to go around and like spam my links to my project. Thank you very much. If I could, I'd give you XP for that, because we are still at 10 backers. Yes. So I mean, I don't mind. We can live at 10 backers for a while. We still have 114 days left. I would prefer we break the 10 backers tonight to some point. I know my original goal said 12. If we could get 13 on day 2, that would be fantastic. 13 is my lucky number. So we would only have to get 3 more people for that, which would be amazing. Um, we'll just have to see now. Because, yeah, I mean, these live streams are not exactly set up at fortuitous times for everyone. And I realize that. That's why you can go back and watch them at your leisure. But they're the only times that I can do this. So I see we have another person in chat. Welcome, or welcome back if you've already been here and you're coming back. We're looking for questions about the Eighth of Blood Chronicles. If you are a backer, this is a prime opportunity to learn more about the game, because we will be discussing how backers can manipulate this project going forward from this point on. And we've got 10 backers. So this conversation will be interesting. But Chris has been doing the lion's share of the conversations, asking the questions and whatnot. He is also a backer. So it might just be me and Chris talking the entire time. I truly hope that is not the case. I would very much enjoy it if someone else were to join us in chat, talk to us, figure out, where we're at as far as, are you a backer? Are you just interested in the game? Um, yes, backers and playtesters have already added things to the game in story and or for rules development. That is absolutely 100% true. And that's the whole point of backers during the course of this project. I want you to be able to do the exact same thing. Um, People have given me ideas, good ideas, to incorporate into my game, and they're too good for me to pass up. And I try to credit those people as best I can, unless they say don't do it. And so if you look in, again, I will show it off, the ash can version of my game, temporary cover, new cover coming as soon as this project is done. That's what this project is for, is to raise artwork for this book. Ash cans do not have artwork. But if you look in the credits, which is in the very beginning of my book, and I'm going to actually turn to it or try to. Come on. My list of credits is not small. You can see I've got playtesters specifically for this game, and then DPS playtesters that have played other versions of games with that use the same rule set. Special thanks is literally people that have given me ideas that I've incorporated into my game, and that list is ever growing. Um, so yeah, that's just the nature of my gaming with me. I try to incorporate my players and my friends into helping me find new ways to run the game to make it better, to make it more interesting for people. So, Christopher, do you have another question for us, or do we have a question from our new viewer? I would very much like to hear from you. Please. Um, in the meantime, Chris, if you want to hit us up with another question, maybe they just want to stick around and see what is said. Um, Waiting on Chris. Another one for me. Okay. Um, are agnati growths still a thing, or has that been reworked? Growths. Okay. Let me explain agnati growths. First of all, I don't know if I should re-explain agnati. Agnati are super powerful alien intelligences where the player characters get their powers from. That is the source of all superpowers on Earth. Um, there is a rule in there to where you get merits and flaws due to this specific agnati you choose to work with. Um, there's another section that says agnati growths, and these rules are for having extremely strong connections to the agnati that gave you power. Okay, so growths are definitely still in the game. Um, they have been added to, if anything. There are a lot more. Growths significant. I can't talk. I need caffeine. Um, Growths signify things like being able to jump into outer space and fly. That's one. Becoming incredibly tougher, making it easier for your superpowers to function in new environments, making it safe for you in new environments, so on and so forth. They are still a thing. They still cost the exact same amount of points to put on your character sheet. And yeah, they are quite good at adding flavor to your characters because that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to add flavor. We have 5 minutes before we're supposed to start talking about how people are going to be utilizing the backer kit to tell me like their feedback and whatnot. But if there are any questions, if um, our new viewer wants to ask us questions, or we can get another question from Chris, either way, I feel like we are not going to need as much time to talk about ideas. I do need to. Um, I want to check the backer kit. We are still at 10 backers. Remember, if we hit 12 backers during the live stream tonight, then there is going to be a very, very unique reward giveaway for free. No one's going to have to pay for it. No one has to be here specifically at the time of the giveaway. I will contact you. But if you're on the backer list, your odds of getting this, of course, begin, and um, it's going to be huge. I highly suggest if you're at all interested in superheroes in a cosmic horror venue, sign up now, and you will love this reward that is coming. So we have something else that Chris has mentioned. Your hair turning gold, or you can now fly, for example, as a visual effect. I'm Is that a statement or is that a question or I'm confused. I'm admitting to my confusion. It's a statement for how growths would work. Sorry. No, growths never worked that way. Your hair turning into gold was a strangeness. And being able to fly, that's a power. And then there are growths that allow you to fly in outer space. Yeah, I know it's been a little while. It's no worries on that. There are growths that allow you to survive in outer space and fly and maneuver and stuff like that. We have someone else joining us in the live stream. Thank you for coming. If you would like to ask us questions, we still have time for questions. Um, right now, we have been chatting with Chris. Okay, we've got somebody new in here who I have not met yet. Hello, and thank you for coming. Um, really, I appreciate you showing up. Um, I don't think you're a backer already, which is awesome. You are a backer. Oh wow! Are you going by a different name than what you backed with? Let me see here. Um, yeah, it does seem like. Um, but yeah. Oh, you're Sea Witch. Okay, awesome. Great to meet you. Sea Witch was backer number 3, I think. I can actually check the list here. It was my third backer. Which incredibly, I want to thank you very greatly from the bottom of my heart for having faith in this project because it does mean a lot to me. So, as a backer, do you have any questions you would like to ask me about the game whatsoever? Um, Chris was an initial playtester and playtested in another game of mine, and he's been kind of fielding all the questions. He deserves a little bit of rest. He is also a backer, so he's not going anywhere um, by word of law. Um, and I just checked. We are still at 10 backers. If we can get to 12 backers, please. 12 backers means that someone is getting a huge bonus to their rewards. I just gave something away on that. It is a huge reward I am giving away for free, and it's random. So it's called a random reward, and they will be given out from time to time throughout this the live streams and whatnot. So the more live streams you come to, the better your chances. If you're a backer, that's going to increase your chances. It's going to be a lot of fun the entire way across this. So see which, if you have a question or comment, anything whatsoever about anything you've seen on this project page or whatever, lay it on me. I am ready for it. Meanwhile, Chris, if you could come up with another question for us, so we can kind of keep them flowing here. Um, so yeah, okay. I've read through the gameplay, but for the abilities, traits, and skills confuses me a bit. Can you elevator pitch how they work during a round of play? Okay, abilities. I'm kind of confused by what you mean by abilities. Um, because I don't really have. Or do you mean the superpowers? Are you talking about the character powers or traits and skills? I understand exactly what you're referring to, but I want to make sure I understand your meaning so that I can answer the question properly. You're borrowing a word from other games. Okay. Are you meaning to talk about the powers? Sure. Okay. I like that answer. Way to stick it to me. Yeah. All right. Commit. Fully commit to this question. All right. Cool. Um, it works very, very simply. Basically, you take your attribute die and your skill die, and at the base, you just roll those and look at a target number. And if you equal or better that target number, you succeed. Um, Now, the traits are actually optional, they're an optional feature within the game. If you use traits, then you get a bonus to an aspect of an attribute. For instance, the physique attribute has strength, agility, reflex, and health traits. Okay. So if you're doing something using your physique attribute, and let's say it is strength based, you would add in your strength score to that roll. Now, then you would roll a die for your skill as well. If you have a bonus called a specialization on a skill, you add in that specialization bonus to your roll as well. So suddenly a normal human could get up to, because both limits for traits and specializations are normally 6, that could give you a plus 12 to your roll. And it is the higher you roll, the better. So obviously. Um, and then the higher the die value, the more potent you are in that area. So a normal human would have straight 6s in physique, psyche, and soul, and D6 would be a professional level, competency level for your skills. The higher those dice go, the greater your skill ability is within that domain of skills. So let's say I've got a physique of D8. I'm stronger than your average human, and I have a strength of 2. All right. So what that would do, we're going to say I've come to an area where there is a non-player character who's been knocked out from debris that has crashed down on them, and I want to lift the debris clear so someone else can pull that person back. Okay. So first of all, I realize this is a physique challenge. So I'm automatically going to use my physique die. I've already stated that as a D8. Secondly, we notify that this is definitely going to be using strength. My strength is going to be a 2, so I'm going to add that to it. So D8 plus 2. This is going to fall under the athletic skills. There are 8 simple skills that define everything you can do in the game. This falls under athletics for carrying or lifting heavy weights. So we're going to say that I'm pretty athletic for this character. We're going to say it's a D10. All right. So suddenly you're rolling D8 plus D10 plus 2. But let's say this is a weightlifting character. He literally goes into the gym specifically to press weight. So I will give him a plus 3 to his as a specialization for his athletics. So what you would roll is the D8, the D10, and add in the 2 and the 3, 4, 5 total, and possibly get an 18 plus 5, which is 23. That's your what's called the active result. Um, and then if that beats that target number that's listed for that task, then absolutely. Where does the difficulty come from? The difficulty is something that is actually listed in the book. But if you don't have the current book that we're working off of right now, then it's not going to be in there, because difficulty was always going to be one of those things that it was up to the person running the game. There were tasks in the book that specifically had their difficulties written in. And then there was a scaling system. So basically, the way it works is you're selecting a difficulty of 1 to 10. All right. And then your roll has to fit into what's called a tier result. A result of 1 to 4 is a tier 0. That's an automatic failure. And then if you get up to a 5, that's a tier 1. Up to a 10, that's a tier 2. Basically, you divide your result by 5. That tells you the tier result. There is a table in the book that shows you what you can do with your tier result. Picking something up and throwing it. You can look at that chart and go, okay, I can pick up something of X weight and throw it Y distance. That's where difficulty comes from. And then specific things like when you're rolling against person, if somebody rolls a 19, that's your target number to beat them in that instance. It's really not difficult. I've just been kind of word vomiting my way through this answer, and I apologize for that. But yeah, you look at that chart and you know what you can do with your active result. That's the whole thing. The table, as we call it, it's just called the table, is in the table of contents now. The top of the rightmost column, and it intends to live there so that when you look at the table of contents, you just go to that part of the table of contents and it's there, the top right in the table of contents. I will actually show you in this, which is a newer copy. So table of contents, look at that top right column. If I can straighten this out, tier results, AKA the table. That is how you determine difficulty. So yeah, I badgered my way around that question enough. Okay, I like this already because you're mentioning one of my favorite game designers. So thank you very much for bringing him up. Several mechanics seem to echo the Cypher system. How much did you play in that system influence your system, and what motivated me to invent this one? Okay, I have played Numenera since the day I got the book from the original Kickstarter. I am a huge fan of all things Monty Cook. All right. Yes, absolutely. Numenera is one of my favorite role-playing games of all time, but I am a fan of everything they put out. I'm not familiar with No Thank You Evil, but I love absolutely everything else. I own absolutely everything else. So it's good to see that we can relate like that. So what I should tell you too, I will be at Gen Con, and I know I'm stalling, but you need to know this. I will be at Gen Con this year running Monty Cook events, Numenera, Predation, and Old Gods of Appalachia. And when I'm not running those, I will be running the Aetherblood Chronicles. So if you're going to be in the area, come on out, see us. If not, we'll have plenty of pictures for you. Um, anyway, all right. Cypher System actually did not influence anything about the creation of this game because I started creating this game long before its existence. It does have similarities. I realize that. And he was probably designing his game back when I was first designing mine. Because it didn't take long. It wasn't like there was a 20-year period or anything. It did not take long at all. I started this in 2007 was when I originally started working on the Eighth of Blood Chronicles. So when I moved to North Carolina, it was already in full swing. Now, I was not creating the Aether Blood Chronicles at that time, but rather a game called Chronicles of the Orb, Shadium Song, which Chris here in chat, wait, that's where you are, North Carolina? Awesome. I have a lot of family that still lives there. Small world. This is amazing. Nice to meet you, dude. Seriously. That's amazing. But anyway, back to your question. I play the heck out of Cypher System and all the rest of those. This one was actually motivated, and I answered this last night in the live stream, but I'll go ahead and answer it again. I'm not going to make you go back and watch a 2-hour video for an answer that I can answer right now very quickly. I had a character concept that I wanted to play in a superheroes game. Didn't matter what game. I just wanted to play this character like really, really badly. And so I tried making him in every rule set I could find. And it was impossible to do without breaking the rules. Not that the character was powerful, but there were abilities that I wanted the character to have that weren't possible within those game mechanics. So I got extremely frustrated. And one day I was like, screw it. I'm going to make a game where my character can exist. And that character is the monotone. So when you read the book and you look at that character sheet, that is the character I wanted to create as like one of the central figures of my comic book mythology. Like Marvel has Captain America, Black Panther, Red Skull, the classic characters that everything kind of runs around. Fantastic Four, another one. DC has Superman and Batman and Green Lantern Corps, Wonder Woman, The Flash. That's what everything kind of centers around. Justice League, basically. The monotone was the first character that I created for that. So that's why the game got invented. But I needed to tell you now, if you want to know about the monotone, come back Friday night. Friday night, I am going to be doing what's called Nights of Lore. And Friday night specifically, I'm diving in deep on the monotone and explaining where he comes from, why he's so important to the game, et cetera, et cetera. Every Friday night, I'm going to be doing a different character. I figured the first Friday should be the monotone. So there you go. Hopefully that answered your question. If not, then tell me and I will see about answering it better. Keeping an eye on the clock, it is almost 1700, which means we have about another hour. I'm going to check where we are. We still are apparently at 10 backers. Remember, if we get to 12, somebody is getting a huge reward. I don't care who it is. I'm going to roll random dice to determine it. So share the link. Make sure people come in here. Make sure people you know are aware of this project. If we don't hit enough people tonight, the number needed for that will increase. And then once we hit that new number, I will do it again and try and do a random reward. But yeah, so do we have another question here? We still have some time before we need to talk into how the backers want to try and influence the game. You heard about it from Logan. Wait a minute. The story told? Man, it's a small world. Logan is awesome. Logan made me look really good. He's an awesome guy, and I truly appreciate the interview that he gave me. And that interview link is on the Backer Kit page. You can go there, click it, listen to it. It is about a 45-minute conversation, but we talk about a lot, and it's worthwhile if you are interested in this game. So that is awesome that you heard from about Logan, or from Logan, I should say. That is amazing, and I need to thank him for that. That's great, man. So, do we have another question from anyone? I see we're up to 4 viewers so far. 3 people are doing all the talking. So there are 2 of you that are just kind of hanging out, which is completely cool. Continue to hang out with us. More people is always better. But if anyone has a question, please pop it into chat. I will answer it as succinctly as possible. Can't guarantee it will be timely because I like to hear the sound of my own voice. So, yes, questions, please. I'm going to check my Discord real quick because something came up here. Just Foundry stuff that I don't need to pay attention to at the moment. All right, I will come back here. And I will check the backers. How many backers do we have? Oh, we have 11 backers, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, who has joined us? Let me refresh this page so I can see who joined us. Nick Bruner. I know I saw him lurking around somewhere. Oh, and he got an add-on on his pledge. He went for the deeper understanding of the Agnati. So he is due a physical copy of the book of the game. So thank you very much for backing the game. I'm glad you were able to join us. I'm glad we have an 11th backer. We have 58 minutes to get a 12th backer so that I can give one of you a huge reward for backing the game. It is huge. It is epic. And when you realize what it is, you're going to go, wow, that is amazing. Okay. So let me see here. You're asking another question here. 11. Yeah. Yay. 11 backers. Logan's interview let me know that it focuses on narrative instead of just mechanics. Can you talk about how your gameplay style grew in this direction? Yes, I can. Directly because of D&D. It is D&D's fault. D&D, while fun, and I am not saying anything bad about D&D, because I have had a lot of fun playing all the editions except for 4th that have come out over the years. And I will run any edition of those at the drop of a pen if my friends ask me. Because my friends know they can come to me and say, hey, run this for me. And I'll be like, okay. But D&D is so combat driven, and they have a skill system that doesn't really allow for much. And yeah, Chris is saying truth, because I know for a fact they were like, I want to play G.I. Joe. And I was like, well, I happen to have a plot line ready to go. So we're working on making that a reality. And I've done stuff like that in the past. But anyway, so D&D is such a linear game, because when you've played it as long as I have, you've seen every possible permutation that a character can give you. That's boring. Plus, people growing up with D&D now, with 5e, are basically learning a kind of stagnant way to game. They think of it as what is on the character sheet is what I can do. Okay. They don't look at it as, well, maybe I can try extra stuff just because it fits within what my character knows and I should be able to do. But that's not the way D&D works. So my game, always from the start, I took it from the viewpoint of, I want people to do what they want to do. I want it to be about story, and I want it to be about character development. Those were my 3 tenets. So a lot of the mechanics are plug and play. And the more you plug in, the more difficult play becomes. But, it's just dependent upon how you want to play the game. For story and narrative focus, I literally built in the mechanics to where you earn XP based upon things that your character wants to do. Have a good hamburger, watch a good movie, read a book, go out on a date. These things will all earn you XP. And then there are longer term goals you can do, like open my own TV station or whatever, fly to the moon. When you put these things on your character sheet, and yes, there is a place on your character sheet for these, you're saying, this is what I want to do. This is the sort of things that I want to do. Can you put this into my game for me? My answer as a person running the game will always be yes. I will always look to those things and be like, hey, he is literally telling me what he wants to do. Why don't I put that in the game at some point for him to do that? So yeah, that's kind of how that happened and why I moved in that direction. Some games are better off in a narrative direction. Um, get a door to another world. Did that. Yeah. He's referring to a werewolf game that we played a while back. But Werewolf is tied for first place with Numenera for my favorite game of all time. But yeah, so basically it was literally playing all the other games that I was playing and realizing that I wanted more from the game that I was writing. That's what happened. That's how it ended up working. Somebody else just said they just backed. Do we have 12 backers? No, we have 11. Okay. But still, thank you very much. You were probably the 11th backer. You heard about the game from Michael. Oh, you heard the Michael is an assistant writer now for this project. He is an awesome kid. Um, Bleepcast is Nick, by the way. This is my podcast channel name. Okay, Bleepcast. I will look for that. I appreciate you coming in and backing the game. I really do. Thank you so much for that and coming in and joining the chat here. I would probably extend the Q&A a little bit and just use the last 30 minutes for what I intended the last 45 minutes to be. Now that we're getting some real good interaction here. You love the concept of the game? Oh man. Yeah, Michael's been really digging everything that he's heard, and we had so much fun with the live stream last night. I was bouncing off the walls the entire time, looking like a complete idiot. But at least Michael was asking questions that made it sound cool. So if you get the chance and you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch that. It's a lot of fun. Not very many people involved, but I was like bouncing off the walls. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you both for showing up. I greatly appreciate it. Now let's get some more questions. I appreciate that we've had some questions so far from Finn, if we can, or She Witch, however you wish to be called, or if you want to put out your first name, whatever that is. If Bleepcast, if you have any questions or comments about anything so far, I would love to hear from you. So far, I found out that Finn and I, excuse me, have a lot in common. Our love for Numenera, the fact that we both lived in North Carolina. I mean, it's a small world. So, Bleepcast, I'm going to kind of turn things towards your direction, and hopefully you have a question just above. Did I miss it? I missed it. Where did it go? I don't see it. I'm here from Indy. I heard about this game from Michael. You're in Indy. I'm going to be at Gen Con this year. So track me down. I'd love to meet you. Um, I honestly do not see your question from above. Um, oh, wait a second. No, I missed a question from Finn. Um, oh, I'm misreading this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Finn. I just now saw your question. I apologize completely, but since the starting world is about supers, do you anticipate add-ons that present other settings and other world schemes? Oh boy, let me tell you. Already in the works is a cosmic source book that delineates planets that you can travel to, that delineates specific timelines, multiversal concepts. Because this is a cosmic level game. The base book mostly deals with stuff happening on Earth, I admit. But I am running events at all these conventions and things as if the books that I've been working with were already real things because I have a lot of notes. I have a lot of notes, and those books are in the works. So, yeah. Um, I do anticipate other add-ons as well, besides that cosmic anthology book that we're working on. And Michael will be working on that with me. He just doesn't know that yet. Um, Basically, I mentioned this again last night, but I'm going to mention it again tonight. I have ideas that will fill up 3 books, 4 books, including the cosmic book. I might end up doing that. 5 books if you count one of our stretch goals that I have planned. You can go read about that, on the main backer kit page. Um, so chapter 1 covers about 20 years of history on Earth. Even though some adventures may take you off world, the 20 years of history is things that happen on Earth that are very key to the storyline that is driven through the game series. Chapter 2 will be another book that I will be kickstarting, or not kickstarting, bad word. Backer, you putting on backer kit. And it's going to be produced one way or the other. I don't care if the backer kit project doesn't work or not. Um, Chapter 2 is going to focus on another 30 to 50 years of history. I haven't decided exactly how long that's going to be. And that is mostly going to be dealing with the aftermath of an alien invasion. So there are going to be lots of aliens coming to and from Earth, opportunities for you to go with your player character into the vast cosmos. And then chapter 3, when we finally get to it, is about the cosmos coming back to Earth and you coming back to protect Earth from everything within the cosmos. Um, it's a well developed story, but it's going to happen in those 3 phases. So if we meet all of our stretch goals for this game, which would be incredible, that would be a total of 5 books for the Eighth of Blood Chronicles, and that would be it. I will be putting out a lot of PDF stuff as well, stuff for like extra powers, extra. One of them that I'm working on right now is how to hack the DPS system, which is showing how to plug and play all the mechanics and how that all interacts with itself. So yeah, great question. Thank you very much for asking. Sorry it took so long for me to see it through all the text and stuff that we have here. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Does anyone else have anything they want to mention? We've got about another 15 minutes before we move on to the next phase. I need to check the main page to check our backers, and we are still at 11 backers. That is okay. I just want to see 12 for the night so I can reward one of my backers. Um, in the meantime, do we have another question from anyone? Um, I'm about to quote Ferris Bueller. Anyone? 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 Chris, do you have a question? Anyone? Oh, here we go. Another question. Let's see here. Curious about the art that I plan to include. Are the artists largely unknowns? What kind of atmosphere do you want to bring to the book? Another excellent question. You can look at some of the updates that I've posted just between yesterday and today to get a great feel for the type of artwork that is going to be in the book. These are people that I have hired specifically for doing the main book. They're just going to be doing some stuff on the side here to help me with the kit. I almost said a bad word again. To help me with the backer kit project. Is there anything that I'm super passionate about with this that I haven't had a chance to actually talk about? Um, there's a lot I haven't had a chance to talk about yet. One of the main things is that I have set out my production estimate for the next 2 years. Okay. If you look over all of that, you will see a number of role playing games. Two of them aren't really role playing games, they are meant to help you develop your own settings, and they're kind of plug and play. One of those is Shards of Cthulhu, which is Cthulhu esque adventures in certain settings, like a pirate setting and like the Wild West and situations like that. That's what that book is about giving you the tools of using Cthulhu in every setting you come across. And then there's another one called Worlds Without End. And Worlds Without End, literally, I will be creating like 20 settings and putting them in the core book. I forget exactly how many. It's a good number of settings for the core book. Once the core book is done, I'm going to be putting out a number of settings each quarter. It's just all it's going to be is maps and information about that setting. And then you plug and play it into whatever game you want to. Everything that's left over beyond those two projects has one contiguous storyline that starts in Aetherblood, goes all the way through to the end, and ties back at the end to Aetherblood. That is what I'm really passionate about. That is what I'm really excited about. That is what I want people to see. Some of these projects will be huge. Yes, Shadium is one of those. Shadium is the next one. There is an add-on you can put on your pledge to play Shadium right now. Shadium is a lot of fun. All right. So the next question: are there elements the players might want to add to their characters that are accommodated by the mechanics, like tragic flaws, struggles, backgrounds, dark flaws, etc.? I have a system called edges. Edges, and if you're familiar with The Walking Dead, you'll see where I got the concept. Edges are moments where you let the story infect your character to the point where you have no control over what your character does. You get XP for allowing the story to manipulate your character in this way. And they're very harsh. They are dark flaws. They are tragic flaws. They are exactly what you are talking about right here. They are dangerous to evoke as well. But since these games that I'm writing, all of them have a horror underpinning to them. The mechanics that I use for these games are going to be this exact same all the way through. So yeah, each game will have the edges system in there. And again, it's an optional rule set, but if you choose to include them, dark stuff will come your way. And if you survive it, you get some XP. If not, your character may seriously die from them. So yeah, that is definitely incorporated into the mechanics. And and you can add those to your character at any point during gameplay. You know, yeah. So, and that's one of the things we can look over during the course of this project. Um, we might just talk about edges one night and come up with ideas to add new edges to the system. I think that would be a lot of fun. It'd be dark and depressing, but a lot of fun. So yeah, yeah. We still have time for a couple more questions. I'm going to quickly check and see how many backers we have. We are still at 11 backers. So if we can get one more within the next 30 or so minutes, there's still a chance I can give away this reward tonight. Otherwise, it will just be harder to get at uh, the next live stream that I do, which will be on Friday. So, anything else that anyone would like to ask? We've got a decent sized crowd here right now, considering the fact that no one knows anything about this game. That's why I'm saying it's a decent sized crowd. Literally, my publication and marketing for this game has been very weak. I don't have a lot of money to throw into it. That's why I wanted to do the extended backer kit project, giving us 4 months to build the community entirely up from nothing and make it something. But that requires your help and you sharing the links and everything. But you guys should know how this sort of stuff works. If not, share the links with everyone you know. If they like gaming, if they like superheroes, if they like Call of Cthulhu, this is definitely the game for them. So yeah. All right. So yeah, Chris is pointing out an example of an edge from the book. Says, "I think I'm in love now," which basically means that you become amorous to a character that wants nothing to do with you. We are up to 5 members in chat. Yes, I feel like I've accomplished something now. Awesome. But anyway, this edge, I think I'm in love now, will cause dramatic problems for the game, and the people involved in that edge will get experience points due to that edge. So that right there is how you get to inflict some dramatic change into not even the character creation process. During the middle of the game, you can evoke these things. If everyone thumbs up on each and every comment in the Backer Kit community, it helps that page to land the Backer Kit front page to further promotion. Oh, please thumb up everything then. Seriously, the more thumbs up I can get, the better. I did not know that. Thank you very much, Finn. That is an awesome safety point. I love that. So everybody, round of applause for Finn. I'm going to show some love for that one right there. Definitely. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, this is obviously my first backer kit. I've only done a couple of Kickstarters that have miserably failed. So I'm hoping I have a much better situation with backer kit, because backer kit just seems like a much better platform to begin with. But we still have a little bit of time here if there are other questions. So please fire away. Don't hesitate. If you're curious whatsoever, we're up to 6 people in the channel tonight. Thank you so much. I'm going to check the backers. We're still at 11 backers. If we can get one more backer, we're going to give away an astonishing reward, even this early into the campaign. 2 days into it, I'm willing to give you guys something phenomenal. I want you guys to see how committed I am to making this an astonishing success. But we have time for a couple more questions, so please fire away. And I'd love to hear from somebody new. What are some films that kept me inspired as I designed the game? Again, I will direct you to the game book itself. I even posted things in the backer kit. There is a list of inspirations on the main story page, but in the book itself, it will tell you what specifically inspired me during the play testing and designing of the game. So I will go through that list right now with you. Reading voice, Alien and Aliens, Brightburn, Captain America, the First Avenger, Dagon, Endless, From Beyond, the Hellraiser franchise, even the bad ones, actually, the John Wick franchise, believe it or not, Life Force, Lucy, Man of Steel, Superman the movie. I'm talking about the Donner version, of course, the original. The Monster, The Void, Venom, War of the Worlds, the original, of course, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yes, Clive Barker is the man. I have most of his published works. There are a few pieces that I still need to pick up, but they're like astronomically expensive. I will get them. Oh, yes, I will. But Clive Barker was a huge point of inspiration for me. But you mentioned films, so I just mentioned the films. But yeah, seriously, yeah. Clive Barker's the man. But yeah, so I we still have plenty of time for questions. Um, I like how I can keep returning to the book and saying I've already written this down. But yeah, no, I love the interaction we've got going here. So if anyone else has a question, please fire away. I feel compelled to check the backer list again. We're still at 11 backers. Okay. Um, how about books that influenced me, aside from Mr. Barker? Again, if you find it on the main page, actually, I'm going to read from the main page here. If I can get back to the project itself here. Um, close that. Um, and on the main page, if you look, there's something that says, no, it's not there. It's not there. Where is it? Where are you? Um, wow. Okay. I'm just going to have to scroll through because I don't realize where this is. Where is it? I know I posted this. It might have been um, a another post that I made, not on the main page. Um, um, no, it is on the main page. All these things is the header where I thank a lot of my friends who helped me like dramatically with this. It also says these are the games that influenced me most, and these are the highlights of my Pandora playlists during this game's creation. This doesn't actually answer the book question, but in this book, it does answer the question about what books, specifically comic books. Let me turn to that section again. It's right here in the beginning. Okay. So when I talk about comic books, I'm actually talking about, say, trade paperbacks. I'm not talking about issues. I'm talking about like huge, um, huge epic stories. So for books, I have Annihilation, which is it starts off as a simple Fantastic Four story dealing with Annihilus, and it grows to this huge cosmic event. It is a great story. I absolutely love it. Batman, Last Night on Earth. Phenomenal storytelling at its best. Very classic. for if you have to run something solo and you're having problems accessing your powers, things that you can do. Darkhawk is a character that most people will not be familiar with, but do some digging. Darkhawk is an um, insanely cool cosmic leveled Marvel hero. And the Heart of the Hawk series is what it's called. It's a very, very good series. I highly suggest you read it because Darkhawk gave me a lot of great ideas for this game. Um, Superman Unchained. I don't think I have to say any more about that. Fantastic Four: The Coming of Galactus. Of course, huge cosmic event. I wanted to make sure that Starjammers by Walt Simonson. Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. But that's not on my list, though. What else is on my list is Green Lantern Blackest Night Saga. I am a hardcore DC fan, so when that happened, I loved it. Also, Sandman. I've been reading Sandman since its earliest days. I have lost a lot of my collection over the years, but Sandman never disappoints. Silver Surfer. Almost anything that Silver Surfer is in makes a great story for Aether Blood. Watchmen, believe it or not, because the scale of the villain at the very end, and I'm not talking about the movie, I'm talking about the huge comic event that was Watchmen. The villain at the very end of the book shows you just a glimpse at the sort of damage a villain or an Agnati can do within the confines of my game. Plus, it's just great storytelling all the way around. And finally, the X-Men Dark Phoenix saga for obvious reasons. That is a very cosmic event as well. I thought it was done very well. It's talking about genocide on um, global scales. So yeah, those are some of the comic books that impressed me most while I was developing the ideas. Some of them, of course, I was familiar with before, but I went back and read, like Dark Phoenix Saga. I mean, somebody my age should know everything about that. But we went back and reread it when I was developing the game. So another question popped up. During the playtesting, what are some elements or mechanics that you discovered couldn't make the cut or needed reworking? Okay. Everything at one point in time or another needed reworking because I was taking mechanics from one game and building them into another game. And I needed to make sure that it was balanced between both because the idea was okay, I want characters eventually to be from all of these role playing games that I'm creating to be able to come together in one session. So I needed the balance issue. At the end of the day, I threw out the concept of balance because that doesn't make for good storytelling. If we were looking for balanced storytelling, we wouldn't ever read a DC comic book. You know, you've got Robin standing next to Superman. Okay. I think that's enough said. So it's about characters in my games. It's not about balance. All right. But yeah, the balance was what was my initial thing that needed reworking the whole concept of it. Like I said, and I just tossed it out the window. It couldn't make the cut. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Got about 10 more minutes. I'm going to check and see how many backers we are at right now. We are still at 11 backers, which is kind of hurting my feelings. Why can't we get another backer? I've literally shared my links to the entire world as far as I know, as far as I can, the places where I could have dropped this off. Okay. This is great. This is great. I love this. Bleepcast says it's a little hard finding people in my group that are into horror RPGs. Are there any thoughts on running a solo RPG? If you read, this is so funny. This is so funny that you mentioned this because I have. If you read the list of the games that I have in store for the coming, it's literally towards the end of the story page on the backer kit. It says, "We foresee the end." And it's dramatic because I'm hoping people will be drawn towards it. This is not only mentioning the end of this, the date that this backer kit ends, it talks about what's coming up for the next 2 years. Okay. If you scroll down through that list, I know it's a block of text. We've got to pretty it up, and we will. But if you scroll down through there, eventually you will find something called the On Chronicles. The On Chronicles, during playtesting of this game that we're looking at right here, the Aether Blood Chronicles, there was a favorite NPC that most everybody interacted with at some point in time or another. His name was On, and he was a captured psychic during an interstellar war who ended up on Earth. And through the characters in play during all those sessions, most people took him in and was like, we're not going to let anybody take you. You're going to hang out with us, and you're going to enjoy life on Earth. And everyone kind of fell in love with this character. So the On Chronicles basically shows his life from a point where he's almost broken, and it starts on his third story, and then it moves forward a little bit so that you can learn everything that he's trying to learn about what he's lost. You meet his family, his allies, his enemies, strange planets, and all this from a unique, singular point of view that all leads up to the Aether Blood Chronicles. Okay. And then there are future adventures that he goes on. This is going to be presented not as a role playing game. No, this is going to be a series of choose your own adventure style books with a character sheet. You're going to need a dice pool to roll to succeed at everything that you're presented with in that book. It is going to use a very simplified system of the DPS system that is what we use for this game. That's already designed. It's very simplistic, and it is designed for solo play. So the concept is that you could use those same rules and develop solo adventures. But right now, the On Chronicles are the only ones we have planned. There is nothing saying down the line we won't do more solo adventures where you just make a character of your choice instead of playing as a single character of ours. And that character goes through a solo adventure. I've seen how popular solo adventuring has become recently, and I realize what a great thing it is just because my remembrance of the Choose Your Own Adventure series from my youth. I've even enjoyed it very recently, going back and rereading some books. And seeing success with other solo RPGs out there. There's nothing saying we won't do it. As of right now, we just don't have any plans. But it's interesting that you brought that up because I wanted to point out the On Chronicles because that will be a lot of fun. It should be a series of about 13 books. So, yeah. We have something else from Finn. Have you found that other GMs who don't have much experience with a system designed for a narrative based game have difficulty running this game? Here's my problem. Okay. My problem is that I've never seen anybody else run this game. I had teams of playtesters run this game. I've never seen those games. All I got were their reports. And their reports just were amazing. Everybody was having fun. They never said anything bad back to me. So that in itself is a problem in my sight, because if there's nothing bad anyone can say, someone eventually down the line is going to say something so bad that it outshines all the good all the praise that I've gotten so far. Yes, the game is an absolute blast. And if you sign up to my Discord, I will run games for people, my backers. I will run games for you on my server. I have nothing but time. All I do is game design. And literally the next 4 months are mostly set aside for the Aether Blood Chronicles. Up until August for Gen Con, of course, I'll be taking a break, and I won't be here where I live. I'll be visiting friends and family throughout late July and early August, but I will still have the capacity to work on the backer kit, to run sessions for people, et cetera, et cetera. And I am looking forward to doing it. I want to share this game with everyone. I will even run this game with just one person. You know, we can scale back the rules so that it can be run with one person. It could be run with one person as it stands right now. You know, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's fun. It's fun. And if you are into this type of thing that I am describing, we can do one-on-one sessions easily. I've done it before for people. We've had a ton of fun. And I will continue running this for whoever, whenever, just say the word. And you can hop on my Discord and just say the word. I know that we've gotten a couple of extra people on here, Doc Steve and Sea Witch, who is actually in the channel with us right now under a different name. You know, I mean, I hope that you guys will ask me for a game and we can run it together. You know, I really hope we can do that. Wednesdays, I can't do it. And I have a day coming up that we're going to be doing G.I. Joe. I think that's Thursdays. So Thursday evenings, we could do it. Most evenings, we could do it. No, Thursday evenings, we can't do it because I have rehearsals at church. Now, okay, we got another question. Is the rule book available as text for playtesting, or is it invitation only? I can't quite make out the rest of it because there's a portion that's cut off by the emotes that are right there. There's a huge heart there, and so I can't make out that word. So you know what? I'm gonna bump this. So okay, now I can see it. Is the rule book available as text for playtesting, or is it by invitation only? Okay, here's the thing. If you want to playtest this game with a group, I will give you the game right now. If you have a group you can play this with, I will give you a copy of the Ashcan version of the rules as they stand right now. At this very moment, I will give it to you. All you have to do is go to my Discord, sign up on my Discord, and shoot me a message in the Aether Blood Chronicles chat that you want a copy, and I will send you a copy. But that is if you have a group ready to play something. Now, Of course, that means people can lie and say, well, I have a group, which, I don't care, you know, because the Ashcan version is not what we're selling as an end project here. It's not meant for you because if you just take the Ashcan, you're going to be missing out on a lot because there's a lot more going into the final product of the game. You'll be missing all the art. You'll be missing a lot of additional writing that Michael and I will be putting in here. There's going to be extra mutations, extra powers. There will be extra everythings because the backers themselves are going to be giving me input, and we're all going to put it in the game. And this Ashcan will not have all that magic. So if you want to, oh, I have a gaming group, to me, that's fine. Schedule permitting, I may be able to play via Discord. What time zone are you in? I am in Mountain Standard Time, my good man. And I have a very adaptable schedule because I am my own boss. So it's basically you tell me when you're available, I will let you know if I can do it. It's not something that I would need you to plan around me. I just need to know when you're available. Yeah, Chris is absolutely right. I wrestle with people from different time zones all the time to make sure that they can come in and play my games and have just as much fun. And it's my pleasure to do so. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't do that, I would have never met Chris, and he's a very good friend. I know I can count on him, and he backed this game at a level he did not have to back it. Yeah, he was waking up at 2 in the morning for this. And I remember it distinctly. He'd be like, I need coffee. I can't because I have to eat. And we would wait for him to eat and drink his coffee. And then he'd be like, okay, I'm sitting down. I can listen. And then we would start playing. And then suddenly something would happen. And he'd be like all up in the game. So, yeah. Yes, please be sure to contact me. And yeah, exactly. That would be absolutely outstanding. I can't wait to hear from you and see what we can put together. Yeah, that's great. Okay, we're down to the last 12 minutes. This is the last check for the backer number. We are only at 11 backers. Sigh. No one gets the random reward tonight. However, come back Friday for the Night of Lore when we discuss the character monotone, why he is so important to the game, why he's integral to all story points, why he does what he does, why he has the powers he has, and why I made him in the first place. So that is going to be the next video. That is at Friday. That is between, I believe it is 8 and 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So more people can get to it after work. I think that's a good thing there. That'll probably be the live streams that I get the most people on. But yeah, come check that out. If we hit 15 players Friday night, then I will give away the random reward. And it is huge. It is epic. It's not changing. There's no need for it to change because when people see what it is, their jaws are going to drop and they're going to be like, you gave that away. Yes, I am planning to do that. As that big of a deal, and I want everyone to be there to see it when it happens. So, and I will have other random rewards throughout this campaign. So don't think that just because I do something huge right out of the gate that I don't have plans later on down the line, because I do. So yeah, last 10 minutes. As a backer, just shoot me a couple of messages right now. For those of you that are backers, are there things you specifically want to see for this game. And if we have to go over a couple minutes, we will. I am bringing out my notes and literally writing down everything that is said for this. Does anyone have anything they want to mention to me right now? You will have other opportunities, okay? Because we're going to be doing one of these every Wednesday night. Backers will be able to come back after seeing what happened during the week, coming to me every Wednesday night and saying, hey, I like how this is turning out. I want to see more effort on this part, or, whatever. I don't like how this is going. Can you not focus on that as much and do something else? These are the concerns I want to see get mentioned here right now. If you've noticed anything about the project, you want to have words involved with me right now, we will do it. Does anybody have anything to say? Chris, I want you to chime in here too, because you are a backer. Okay. Minions, the Robin to our Batman, the Harley to our Minions. Okay. There are a couple ways to do this already. One of the powers in the game is literally necromancy. Necromancy allows you to create undead sidekicks. And that idea came from City of Heroes. Playing a necromancer in that game is so much fun. And yes, I still play City of Heroes. I love that game tremendously. So yes, I will be putting more things in there. Right now, necromancers are the only thing that get sidekicks. But the other, well, no, that's not true. Psychic characters. There's an option you can take at character creation to create psychics. These psychics only get more powerful due to their link they have with you. Yes, there are psionics. This is exactly what I'm talking about right now. So at character creation, if you take the abilities to create psychics, then that psychic, literally, the more powerful they become, the more subservient they become to you. They maintain their sentience, they maintain their free will. They just want to work with you more and more as that link gets more powerful, as they grow more powerful, as you grow more powerful. It is a symbiotic relationship. So that is another way to get sidekicks. But I'm working on more. We shall have to see, probably in chapter 2, when it drops, I will have the rules for sidekicks done. It is not like hero worship at all. Hero worship is something completely different. There are organizations for that. I will leave it at that for right now. There are organizations for that. But yes, the psychic sidekicks are a huge thing. Their powers work completely differently. You can play a psychic in this game, or you can just have a psychic NPC follow you around. Either way, it's a ton of fun. And I never saw too many people play around with psychic stuff, but we've done enough to know that it works. It's just not something that everybody picks up on and goes, ooh, yeah, I want this. I want to have a psychic companion. So yeah, it's something I'd like to do a lot more work with. So yeah, I will write that down right now though, sidekicks, and know that I need to put preference on sidekick systems. All right. You like the way I classified the powers into 3 groups? Yeah. I don't know where that concept came from. I just started writing, and the words just kind of came out to me. But I'm really glad they did, because I like that. I like that aspect of it. I like that Aethers have 3 different types of powers that they can draw upon. The attentions make sense to me. The methods make sense. The arcana makes sense. I don't know where in the world it came from, but I'm glad that you like that because I'm a big fan of that as well. Now, got about 5 minutes left here. If anybody wants to, Chris also following up on that. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left. If anybody wants to follow that up and ask, we probably have time for two more questions, depending. Um, at the rate we're going, we probably could answer two more questions, but 4 minutes left for anybody that wants to peek in there and have the last say of chat. Make it something powerful. Make a statement. Bring us home. You love the system for making costumes. Yes, somebody was able to mention it. I haven't mentioned it on this backer kit or in any interview yet, but there is a system for making your own costumes. It can be granted to you by your Agnati, or you can just make one on your own. And that's a lot of fun because you build systems into your suit that can augment your powers and things like that. It's a really fun little like mini game almost. So Finn, if this takes off like lightning and it changes your life, uh, so you think it will change your wait what? I can't see it again. So again, we're going to do the dot 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 enter. Um, if this takes off like lightning and it changes your life, you think it will change you? No, I don't think so. Because most of the money that I make on these is going to be put back into development of even more games. It won't change me. It will just allow me to make more of what I already like doing. And that is designing games. Chris will tell you it's my favorite thing in the world. Like in the time that he's known me, I've made what, 4 games? 3, 4 games? Hours and hours helping me brainstorm. Yes, exactly. Um, oh wow, I miss those days. I really and truly do. Um, Probably more like days and days. Yeah, I would literally. I had a channel, a Discord server. I would literally hop in there and go, "Who wants to talk about me or talk with me about this game?" and brainstorm. And it was normally just a few people that would do that, and they are thanked in the credits um, of the Aether Blood Chronicles, both on the backer kit and in the book itself. Um, we can probably field one more question. Excuse me. Um, if we make it fast, we've got 1 minute. Someone post something very impactful to bring us home, and I will make that the closing statement. You have limited amount of time to do this. For the game. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, is that the note we're going to be left on? Anyone else typing out a question or a statement? Anything whatsoever. Costumes rock, no capes. I have capes in my game. All right, we are literally at 1800 hours. This was my cutoff time for this video. So yeah, you are very welcome. Welcome. Please hop on my Discord channel if you have not already. And yeah, I want to share this game with everybody. You are so welcome. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself. No one wants that to happen. Um, so yeah, you're very welcome. I hope to see you guys come back to more chats. Hopefully, I'll see you on Friday. Post, ask questions, give me thumbs up on the backer kit. And I will see everybody soon. Take care and happy gaming.